Turning now to Syria, where the Assad regime is denying it is carrying out mass killings and then burning the bodies. New satellite images appear to show a crematorium next to a prison north of Damascus. The U.S. believes as many as 50 prisoners are executed each day.
This comes as rebel fighters and families evacuate Syrian cities as Assad forces retake more and more control. Seth Doane has the latest.
They don't use the word surrender here, but that's what it is. This morning, after years of battling Assad's Syrian army, opposition fighters stood face to face with their sworn enemies, who ushered them onto buses bound for a main opposition area in Syria's north. Since Monday, more than 2,300 rebels and their families have left the al-Ward district of Homs in a deal that evacuates rebels and strengthens Assad's hold on Syria's big cities. Some carried weapons, chickens, or whatever they had left. In their own videos, this young man said, "We were forced out. Don't think we left on our own will. God willing, we shall come back." The buses pulled out under the watchful eye of Assad, but it's hardly an end to the story. Syria is a country with no shortage of front lines and competing interests. Assad's forces continue to pound rebel pockets in his own cities, and another group led by Kurds is taking aim at the ISIS stronghold of Raqqa, preparing an assault. U.S.-led coalition airstrikes are paving the way for that advance.
Seth Doane joins us on the phone now from Homs in Syria. Seth, so we just want to ask about the evacuations that are underway. What does this latest victory mean for the regime of Bashar al-Assad?
Well, it's quite symbolic. It continues to solidify his control over Syria's main cities. So we're seeing that take place here in Homs. We've also seen it over the weekend in the suburbs of Damascus. The center of Damascus is relatively secure, and Assad is certainly in control. He is not in control in some of the suburbs, but a kind of several-pronged approach. One of them is just pummeling these rebels with everything, these missiles, airstrikes, killing these rebels. But the other is this rebel evacuation. I was going to call it humanitarian, but many people say it's really just a forced displacement. But allowing these rebels to leave, as we said in the piece, they don't use the word surrender, but that's really what it is, and it's allowing Bashar al-Assad to have more control over these cities, which is a really symbolic victory.
So then what happens after these rebel fighters and their families evacuate? Don't they still remain targets?
Absolutely. I think that's the big question. And we asked the governor of Homs about that here. We said, okay, they've all been loaded onto this bus. They're all going to be bused now to northern Syria. What is the government's plan then? They're all being moved to this other rebel stronghold, really, which has really kind of a hornet's nest of different rebel groups that don't all agree with each other. So what are you going to do once you get them there? And the governor of Homs, who I spoke with last night, said, for now it's the truce. But he added, we will continue to fight terrorism. Now, listen, you can read into what you will. What I read into it is these guys, if they're seen as opposing the government, could very well continue to be a target, just no longer in Homs or Damascus, but kind of corralled in this Idlib province up near Turkey.
Seth, we have to ask you about the mass killings. I mean, human rights groups have been reporting that the regime's atrocities throughout Syria's civil war. What evidence supports the State Department's claim that the government, the Syrian government, is using a crematorium to hide the evidence of potential war crimes?
Well, what we've heard from the government today is a categorical denial that this exists at all. They have said simply, this is absolutely a fabrication. This is not true. We have been trying to get our own interviews on the subject, and thus far have not had any luck securing a high-ranking government official to talk on this issue. But that is the official answer from the government, that they categorically denied it. I mean, and if you talk to a lot of Syrians, you have to take some of it with a bit of a grain of salt, because remember, I'm the guest of the government in the Assad stronghold. But he has real popularity here. You ask people, and they say, well, who else is there? What happens if this guy goes away? We don't know what the alternative is. And what I keep hearing, at least in these Assad strongholds, is, get it to an election today, we vote for him again, or we would vote for him. So there is real support and real kind of general distrust of what are seen as allegations coming from the West.
Yeah, that's a real indication that, we certainly see one side of the story here, but there are many, many sides to this story, and clearly he has his supporters, right?
Absolutely. Seth Doane reporting from homes in Syria. Seth, thank you very much. Stay safe.
Thanks. Go to you.